Roughly 2 weeks ago, I asked you to submit me fan-made twists you wish Survivor would use, and let's just say you all went above and beyond. Oh me oh my, that is a lot of comments. So I had a little sit down and, I got my cap because apparently I have to be wearing one every video, but then I compiled my favourites into one list. The first is the Soul Necklace, a brand new tangible item that contestants can find on the island. Survivor has been trying for the best part of 5 years now to reinvent its iconic hidden immunity idols with small variations to spice up the game. When in a person's possession, this advantage blocks the first vote cast against them at every tribal. It's a pretty neat advantage, but in modern Survivor, when people are told the first vote cast against an individual is nullified because of an advantage they own, well, that's going to put a Natalie Napalm-sized target on their back. But it still can be officially played as an idol, leaving the individual's possession and almost having all the benefits of the idol. This advantage is all about risk versus reward, because when you play it as an idol, it factors in how many passive votes it blocked beforehand. So let's say you visited 3 tribals where your name was written down at least once. When you go up to play the idol, the first 3 votes will count against you, and the rest are nullified. If another person were to then be in possession of the Soul Necklace at 2 tribals where they received votes, and then played it before the votes were read, it would then block all but the first 2 votes. The thing I like about this advantage is it awards an underrated aspect in Survivor in not ever receiving a vote. If you never receive votes, you have a full idol, but if you have a bad social game with even one player, they could put down your name and blow up your game, because people know you have something to nullify the first vote cast against you. While not an outright replacement for the idol, it would be fun as a season's quote-unquote beware advantage, or an item secretly hidden in the opening marooning challenge. Nonetheless, it provides a lot of variance as a powerful advantage, or one that could completely blow up your game. The next twist is something I've seen a lot in orgs, and finally we get to talk about it on the channel. This twist is known as the Concealed Tribal Advantage. Like other advantages, it's on parchment and hidden on the island. However, unlike most advantages, this twist gives the holder power like we've never really seen before. They can play it secretly at the voting station before the votes are read by putting the parchment in the urn. Then when we get to the vote reading, Jeff will stop and produce the parchment, announcing the Concealed Tribal Advantage has been played. Much like the name suggests, this tribal council goes from any regular one, with the contestants having full understanding of what is going on, to pitch black, for a lack of a better term. When the Concealed Advantage is played, every vote isn't read, except the deciding one. It's cutting out the tension, the votes casted for other players, and just letting you know directly who has been voted out. It's a fantastic tool to facilitate a stealthy blindside, where you don't want anyone to know the voting results. For some extra power, it's only the contestant that played the Concealed Tribal Advantage that is told what the eventual vote tally was and who received votes. Well, yes, it can be argued this harms the voting procedure for the cameras. It is only one tribal. The upsides also outweigh this one downside. It's perhaps the worst, best kept secret that production wasn't super thrilled about Survivor 43 having very few blindsides, and this advantage helps create a more blindside heavy meta while giving power to the players. And while we're cutting that advantage off with number 3, it's fair to say intruding is the key to this one. This is the Intruders Twist, which takes elements we've seen from Survivor US and cranks them up that extra bit for our TV pleasure, as long as we have only 2 tribes. Unlike the other 2 twists that are tangible, this is an advantage tribes can avail of throughout the pre-merge. The winning tribe gets to send one member of their tribe to the loser's camp. At their camp, this winning tribe member can interact with the losers, look on the losing tribe's island for their idol, and they even get to attend tribal council. Now, before you raise your pitchforks at me and call this the most unfair advantage, the intruder is immune at this tribal council, but can cast one single vote. Back in older Survivor seasons such as Survivor Samoa, elements of this twist were quite common. A winning tribe member would visit, communicate with those on the losing tribe, and even visit tribal council. This just adds an extra layer by letting this person cast a vote, which can lead to interesting dynamics. Something similar happened in Australian Survivor Heroes vs Villains, so skip the video now if you don't want to have that season spoiled. When Jerry was booted off his Heroes tribe and went on to the Villains, he was able to vote at their tribal, and this led to some fun dynamics, such as George and Simon fighting for his vote. With that said, I think this twist gets even more interesting after a swap, as connections are further established. The winning tribe has to be really careful who they send, and social politics are a lot more at play. With Survivor now expanding to 90 minutes per episode, a twist like this could be easily integrated and allows for dynamics to form that may not be possible on typical seasons. I hate to do that YouTuber thing, but a lot of my videos tried to give a voice to the community, and if you like this style of content, consider liking and subscribing. We're extremely close to 2k subs, and when you support the video, YouTube recommends my community-based videos to more people, so we can expand our community. And I mean, you've already watched 5 minutes of me, so tapping 2 buttons shouldn't be anything, right? With that said, while we started this series with an idol, another fun one was also suggested that takes the hot potato concept. And look, at the end of the day, I'm from Northern Ireland. If I see something is potato related, I'm going to gravitate towards it. I'm sorry, it's my culture. A contestant that finds this can use it as a regular idol to protect themselves, however it only lasts for 3 rounds, and if 3 rounds of the game pass and they haven't played it at a tribal council, then they lose their vote at the next tribal, and can't have idols played on them. This is the Thunder Idol, and it zaps you if you hold on to it for too long. However, once you play it, you have to pass it on to another contestant, and again they have 3 rounds to play it, or else they get zapped. This wasn't included in the original comment, but I think it would be cool if the previous owners' names were written on the back of this idol as it gets passed on. Kind of like the legacy advantage. This lets the contestant know who willed it to them, who previously was in possession of it, and I also think it would be interesting if you can't will the idol to a person who already owned it. Personally, I think it adds a lot more dynamics to the game and is just straight up a better version of the legacy advantage. Last but certainly not least, we've also seen Survivor experiment with a variety of tribe swaps. There are luck-based swaps, schoolyard picks, one captain deciding the tribes, and Gabon. It's safe to say Survivor is willing to experiment with this type of twist. Contrastingly, a lot of Survivor fans have started feeling that challenge wins are considered largely meaningless in the modern format. The challenge swap takes both of these perspectives and creates a best of both worlds scenario. Instead of the aforementioned formats, the swap is determined based on a challenge. The earlier you're eliminated and the earlier you have to pick. So whoever is eliminated first from the challenge has to pick their new swap tribe first, and then the second last, and so forth. This should theoretically give those that perform better in the challenge a bigger advantage coming into the swap, as they can pick the tribe that has more of their allies on it. Honestly, this is one of the more fair ways to cause a tribe swap that hasn't already been explored by production, which is shocking. I mean, they created a chaos swap with 3 idols in Survivor 44 before even trying to divide the tribes based on performance in a challenge. While this is a simple twist, you can't deny it's effective and is extremely easy for production to implement. A massive thank you to Jonathan Burton, CDog102, Luke DeVoe, Clark Wilcox, and Psycho Spike for sharing the twists you see in this video. They created the Soul Necklace, Challenge Swap, Concealed Tribal, Intruder, and Thunder Idol advantages respectively, although I may have also given them a few minor tweaks. That being said, I wanted to shout out to everyone that took the time to comment about their twist. I saw everyone, and trust me, if I had all the time in the world, I would have loved to include every person in this video. But that's the end of the video for now. On screen now is a video talking about 5 contestants that argued against production twists. It's been received extremely well, so make sure to check it out so you don't miss out. Please also subscribe because we're so close to 2,000 subscribers. And, say it with me now, peace!